goes with the approach. Oh!
Sterling with the fantastic double. Not kids. Sterling still waiting
For the kick to happen. He's probably wondering when. Oh!
Sweet butters up this shot.
He seems to be crawling away from the goal. What is he doing?
He's throwing away the match.
Oh!
Alright, let's paint a Space Marine. I've never painted a Space Marine before, so let's use the one I got in the Combat Patrol Hachette collection, paint it and give it away to one of you. Welcome, my name is Hubert, and today, after almost 2 years back into the hobby, I paint my first Space Marine. I'm on a quest to become better at painting, and let's face it, experimenting with Necrons and Tyranids and a few rescues here and there has its limits. Trying new stuff can get you out of your comfort zone, and that's where you improve a lot. So I got this one in the Hachette Combat Patrol. It's a good and cheap way for me to get models. I don't usually paint on the channel, and if you're interested, there are even ways to buy only what you want. In my case, I'm not planning on building an Astartes army yet, so I'll be giving away this one, more on that at the end. It's been 2 years in the hobby, and somehow this is my very first Space Marine. And because I like to make my life difficult, I didn't just paint him, I tried to tell a story on the miniature. First time I do this too. And you'll see, there will be a lot of this first time stuff in this video. Usually, I improvise everything, colors, textures, decisions in the moment. But this time, I tried to replicate someone else's work. I grabbed a few ideas from El Miniaturista style, and added my own personality to it. Let's see, what else? Oh, I forgot. Astartes. You guys voted for a chapter, so here it is.
Cease your concern initiates. Dark Angel is an acceptable designation for pigment application. Though the machine spirit within Hubus expresses a statistical preference for salamander gray chromatic protocols, he shall comply. Obedience is efficiency. Efficiency is holy.
Thanks again for voting, my friends. It was funny to see how quickly one clear winner was getting ahead. So where was I? Yes, I followed El Miniaturista's style, but it was a bit more like I watched, I learned, and I tried my own version. So yes, I added lightning 10 rays and some resin bits I found on Deadly Print Studio for the bullets and smoke effects. And yes, these are the same ones he uses. They even often use his models as reference. Alright, it's primed. Let's do a quick zenithal with Liquitex white ink before we move on. I try to aim for the spots that would be hit by light. This will help build more contrast with next layers, but we will have to keep them thin enough so the zenithal shows. From that foundation, I'll build up several layers of lighter and lighter green, each one sprayed a little higher and a little narrower. Small spot. You know what I mean. Nothing fancy, just controlled zenithal style passes, gradually pushing the volume of the armor forward. I have the same process in mind with the fabrics, purity seals, and the sigils. Start with dark brown and go all the way to ivory to get that nice bone warm color. Since I have a full-time job, you'll forgive me, I'll take some shortcuts. So yes, dry brushing works well for highlights, and if you're careful with it, I'll explain more of the process with annotations. For now, let's briefly talk about this guy on tabletop.
He's a chunky, reliable leader, tough to kill and kinda trash in shooting or melee. His main value is the buffs, rerolling charges and stratagem discount. That's it for 95 points. Thank you, Hopus, for giving away such a useful model.
Yeah, He's not that used in competitive tabletop, but he looks cool. I'll leave you to it now. On the menu, base coats, more base coats, weird stuff with the cape, weird stuff with the face, and of course, streaking rhyme. Oh yes.
Improvisation is rarely welcome, and only then when the Omnissiah's will thunders through the new sphere like a divine command. Until that moment, you must follow the sacred litany of support, strike the like sigil that the machine spirits may awaken, invoke the subscription oath that Hobus Dataforge may burn brighter. To this, and the Omnissiah shall judge you worthy.
In early when I remember cause last and tinted glass. In early when I remember cause last and it's just and good and good and in early when I remember cause last and tinted glass. In early when I remember cause last and cause last and tinted glass. I'll be when I remember cause last and it's just good and good I'll be when I remember cause last and tinted glass. I'll be when I remember cause last and it's just good.
Alright, I think that's looking good for now. I have to keep things simple because I'm on the clock for now. Even if this time the hairdryer helped a lot, there is still much to do. We have a blue blade to paint, bullet hit FX, armor vents, and the barrel smoking. This is why I was so excited to paint this guy. Yes, first time painting a Space Marine, first time painting a face really, first time trying to really push myself. If you've watched my recent vids, you might remember I'm in the process of slowly learning about color theory, but there are so many different aspects to it. Today we are using analogous colors with green and blue, and complementary colors with green and red. But let's start with white ink and oil. I didn't know what colors to use for the glow effects. Red, blue, and I did my research, and yes, I knew each color had a meaning, but how can this translate into adding narration into your model? Well, I simply remembered the book Descent from Angels, where we follow Gaahleri during some interesting events on Caliban. and I tried to picture the book in my head with colors. Green for the forest, lots of green for the forest. What then? Well, blue represents discipline, focus, and controlled power, the cold, ritual precision of a Dark Angel Knight. Red, on the other hand, shows the violence and fury of battle, muzzle flashes, burning impacts, the heat and righteous conflict, anger.
Together they echo the dual nature of the Dark Angels themselves. Calm, stoic knights on the surface, carrying the fire and chaos of their hidden past inside. But I prefer not to talk about this.
So I went with both. But using blue was going to be tricky, because green and blue are analogous colors, meaning they are next to each other on the wheel. I had to keep my green desaturated, and on the other hand, oversaturate my blue, pushing it to white. And that's why I ended the glow effect with pure white. So white in the recesses that are the source of the energy, blue ink over it, a few passes, then come back with dry brushing some light blue and finish with white again. I'm really happy with the result. What do you think? If I had to do it again, I'd anticipate contrast way more by darkening the armor, but that will be for another model. For the red and glow effects, I actually tried to follow the recipe with what I had: white, fluo yellow, and fluo orange inks. It's really simple. Just start with white, yellow ink at the center of the effect, orange at the edges of the impact, repaint the debris with white, then yellow, and a bit of orange and tenebrous grey. By the way, what's going on with tenebrous grey from AK Interactive? I love using this paint for glow effects, even blue ones. Once I was done with inks, I used it to focus the glow effects a bit more by spraying it around the effect, helping with contrast. I then dry brushed it over the red effects too. Don't really know how to describe it to help with the heat dissipating effect or smokiness of it. I don't know, but I love it. Last touch with the white at the center of the energy and heat spots to push the contrast even more. And you must have heard it already. When in doubt, push for more contrast. They are small models, so contrast is key to catch the eye. I will not varnish it, so the viewer who wins it can continue working on the base, for example, or varnish him as he pleases. This guy is done. Let's take a look at him and talk about the giveaway. I learned a lot during this session. On color theory, doing stuff faster, but more importantly, I learned what I wanted to improve on this kind of models. First, I now know what kind of miniature painting style I want to learn, as well as where to go next. Learn contrast, paint dilution, yes, still, brush control, and faces. Also, I need to get my hands on some magnifying glasses. Now for the giveaway, simply drop a comment on this video and email me at hubespaintshop@gmail.com. That way I have a way to contact you. Also, feel free to send images of your Dark Angel army if you want me to showcase it in the next video while announcing the winner. But if the winner lives outside Europe, he'll have to pay for shipping. I think it's fair. Alright, I think that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this one, and maybe I inspired you in some way. As always, feel free to join the Discord. You are all very, very creative, and there is some really nice stuff being shared on the server. I'll see you soon for one interesting Necron character. So until next time, happy painting!